Making sure that everybody can hear me. Media is on. Ringtone is off. So, people, if you're out there, let me know if you can hear me. Okay. So, great. Listen, if we still have 5 minutes to go, but if you would, because it would help get the word out, take this and share this everywhere, like put it on your pages and stuff like that. That would be really, really cool. If you could do that. Let me see what this is. I don't know what that is. Let me just... All right, I don't know what that... I'm going to be right with you. Hold on one second here. All right, so anyway, I hope... Oh, good. Thank you, Dawn and Mir. Great. I want to make sure. Oh, thanks, Els. And I tried this new device. I'm hoping that everything is cool. Hey, Terry. Good to see you. I want to give everybody a couple of minutes. I know it's New Year's Eve, and it might take a little time for everybody to get on and everything. What I was thinking about is maybe tomorrow on the YouTube page that I'll do. Hey, Sherry. I was going to do readings tomorrow. I'm still trying to figure this thing out because I don't want, I do a lot of work and I want to make sure that I'm not spreading myself too thin, if you get what I'm saying, with the amount of readings that I do and stuff. I have a bunch of them tomorrow. So trying to tie in my love for tarot and metaphysics, as it were, here with YouTube and my store, and you get what I'm saying. So it's that whole social media thing. So I'm actually going to burn my sage here today. I have my cards here today. Hey, Hannah, it's good to see you. Let's see here and get started. I hope everybody's got some wonderful plans for New Year's, even if it means that you're just hanging out. And just gotta smudge my place. I did a lot here today. Okay, let's put this here. I'm so professional here, am I not? I'm like, I gotta make sure I'm not cursing. Hey, Rita. There we go. I was kind of thinking of, everybody out there. Not only do I want to talk about tarot, but I'd like some people out there. And here, you have homework because we're on real early. Bring your cards with you because I'm going to ask questions and I would like to see people interpret their cards. Alrighty? So it's a challenge to you. So while we still have 3 minutes, pull out your cards or your runes or your pendulum and put it in front of you. Because we're going to have a little fun. This is our New Year's Eve episode. We could do what we want, right? So I'm gonna challenge you all. So while you are doing that, I'm smudging this place and getting myself ready, right? Because if I see that nobody is budging and I see no interpretation, I'm gonna be very upset, and you don't want me to do that. Okay. I also don't want to smudge out the place. Make sure we got. So I have this device holding my phone here, and I can look at stuff here on my computer at the same time. And I think tomorrow I'm going to do a bunch of readings. So we'll see what we've got going on here. Alrighty. So, and this way I get a chance to look at everybody's questions that posted in the Tarot and Divination Forum. So that would be really, really cool. So let me just mute this here and make sure. So there's a bunch of really cool questions here, and I'm going to do my best to answer everything on here. Mary, are you out there? Because your question about astrology is pretty cool. So I'm trying. Do I have my astrology book with me? I don't think I have it on me right now. Because I'm not an astrologer, you know, but I'm going to do the best I can. And if anybody out there is good with that, please feel free to jump in on this, okay? Because this isn't just about me. It's about all of us coming together. Okay, cards and coffee. You read coffee grounds, Terry, or does that mean you're drinking coffee? Because I actually read tea leaves. Actually, do I have? Yeah, I did a reading. And I have my little tea. You can see that I have tea leaves in there. I did a reading, and I do tea leaves as well. So that's kind of cool. So Terry, is that drinkable, the coffee you drink, or is it coffee grounds? I'd love to find out more. So I do tea leaf readings, and we can even touch on that one a little bit. So I hope you have your questions ready, because yeah, we're pretty much on time here. So thank you to everybody that is now on, and happy New Year's Eve. I found French press, so lots of grounds. I should be reading them. Yeah. Actually, this teacup thing that I'm using, the coffee grounds would work in that as well. So you might want to look for something like that. But I've never read the coffee grounds, but I was taught how to do the tea leaf readings. And I do that for the occasional client that requests them, you know. So there's lots of forms of reading, right? It's all these different things. Thank you for all the questions. I'm like trying to keep up with all of the different questions that people have given me privately and in. Hi, Rain. Lots of questions that people have given me, both PM and on our tarot and divination forum. So it's really exciting to see so many people get so involved with this, and to see what their passions are. So divination seems to be pretty important to an awful lot of people. And I'm curious to see what people feel about the upcoming New Year is coming. I've been reading a lot for people, doing year readings for them. So basically what I do is a circular reading. I'll put a card that represents the person in the center. I have them pull 12 cards, and starting with January, I pull one card for each month. And then if there's they need to go deeper in any particular month, I could draw additional cards right on top of that. So I've done quite a few of those for this season, but I haven't done it on myself because I wanted to kind of poke all of you or provoke all of you to do it with me here. So I wanted to try something new. So hands up, who's got their cards with them? Come on, let me see. There's a bunch of people here. How many people have their cards on them right now? And I want to really try to get as much as we can in. I hope we can get it all in the hour. But if you would, okay, whether it's pendulum, your cards, or your runes, pull one card for January. Okay, do it quickly. Come on, let's do it quickly. I do something similar like that, reader's writing. I pull one tarot card per month with 3 Lenormands to explain the tarot card. That is fantastic. So Rita and everybody else there, I have my deck, which I smudged, as you saw. And I would like you to pull one card. Doesn't matter what it is, pull one card for January. Okay, and we're going to go really, really quickly on this. And I will do something really similar. I know we won't get to everything. But for January, I just pulled the Queen of Cups. So starting with January, this is pretty cool. Oh, you're at work. Okay, Els. So I'm pulling for myself, obviously. Alrighty. If it resonates with you, please let me know. But I pulled the Queen of Cups for January. So I love this because my interpretation of this card might be a little different than others. But, you know, everybody here calls me Mama B. You'll see people call me Ma on the comments and stuff like that. And the Queen of Cups is kind of like that. You have both the Empress and you have the Queen of Cups. And the Queen of Cups has a habit of doing things for people. People go to her for help. People go to her for advice. Where like the Empress goes, I taught you how to do this. Now you got to do it on your own. So show me what you got, you know. So the Queen of Cups comes up for January. So obviously, if you want to, somebody had mentioned archetypes. Terry, was that you? So when you look at the Queen of Cups, hey Chris, I look at that as almost a very mothering type of archetype. So Terry, I hope, yeah, I'm pretty sure that was you, Terry, that mentioned that. So right off the bat, January, I guess I'm going to be helping a bunch of people, or that aspect of me is going to be needed. And the archetype is very similar to a mom, that sort of thing. So now I'm going to go right into the Queen of Cups is the woman in every man wants. Oh, I like that. And every woman wants to be. Okay, very good. I really like that. Helena Troy. Nice. Nice. So Terry, look at that as an archetype as well. Hey, Maria. Really, really cool. Maria, thank you for your question. And I want to address that, okay, about numerology or numbers in the tarot cards. So that was for January. So now February, I pulled this out. Yes, you got that, Mary. Very, very, very true. So again, there goes that archetype. So we have, right, the 8 of Pentacles for February. Now that makes a lot of sense because I forget if I mentioned this before, but I'm going to be moving the store to a new location in Cornwall. Okay, I'm going to be moving to 300 Shore Road. It's a smaller place. I'm condensing. And the reason for that is that I want to focus more and more and more on my tarot. I'd like to do more private or one-on-one classes like this. And I'm actually moving into a movie studio, and I do side work for this person. And so I do entertainment work on the side. So there's a lot going on. Alrighty. Whew, at least you didn't pull the 10 of Wands. Now tell me why, Terry. So for February, for me to work hard in order to get that money makes sense. Alrighty, 8. You could see the 8 of Pentacles. He's working, making things happen. Pentacles is usually associated with hard work anyway, or somebody who's related to that. So that's January or February. Now I have March. So I'm pulling March. Hold on. And I got my cards sticking together. That's probably because of the okay, so here is March. Again, this is a card that's very typical of me because I don't like asking for help. Many blessings for your new location. Thank you, Maria. I'll sit and talk to you more about it. The February work is hard, but well done. With the 10, it's, yeah, you got it. Yep. Thank you, Chris. And now, see, this is my, and a lot of people out there will agree with me. I don't like asking for help. And here I am, people giving me attention, people wanting to help. Probably that has to do with the move. And I can be very stubborn. People that I love, let's say Chris says, come on, I want to help it. I'm going, no, I can handle it, whatever. And my own coven has gotten mad at me for things. So that kind of makes sense because I have to be in the new place by March 1st. All right. My number still stays the same. My Facebook, all that other stuff. So you could still reach me for all of you people that I read for and do my events. Beltane still happens. So that's March. Now here comes April. Let's see what we got. Alrighty. A little ominous, isn't it? So being stabbed in the back. I have to be careful. Though normally this has to do, in my opinion, something that has happened in the past that I'm still holding on to. I think I know what that's about. And Maria, I think you know what I'm talking about. So here comes April, and I should be aware of that. So tarot is advice. And yeah, I know, Mary, but I think you know who I'm talking about too, Mary. So I have issues that I need to let go of in order to move forward. Alrighty, so that's April. And now comes May. But I get the lesson. So it's not, yep. So you know what? To be forewarned is power, right? If you want to, go that route. That's okay. I'll pay attention and you work with that. So now, some sort of heartache, some sort of thing. I wonder if they're related. But I don't know how it can be because I don't love this person. I'm the first person to say, you know what I mean? So we'll see what's happening, but I have a feeling I know where that's coming from. In May, I put on my festival, so interference. That's I'm really saying it lightly. Alrighty. Yeah. Yep. I know, Jennifer, but it's okay. It's advice, and I really do think I know what that's. Yeah, you know what? It's a moment, but I see this more as unnecessary drama. Yeah, you know what? I do too. I do too. Alrighty. So that's May. Let's go into June. I'm doing this because I want to show you how you could do this for yourself as well. And don't I need to walk away from things? Make sure you surround yourself with the right people. Yeah, Rita, and I think, Rita, when you were here, you caught a little bit about what I was talking about. So all that up in the air, pining up in emotion. Yeah, that emotion, though, with me would be anger. So I need to walk away from issues. So this is coming into June. Alrighty. And I'm going quickly with this, but I'm gonna spread it out and go through this. Be very selective. Yeah, absolutely. Alrighty. So now look at this. I like this one. This is the coming together of ideas, coming together of thoughts and emotions. Yeah, but you know what? I'm really happy with this. It's a storm in the middle of the Three of Cups. Yeah, so the idea is, the homework is, Maria, I love you. Do you know that? You're fantastic. But look at what we have here. Yeah. So there's resolution. It's me figuring things out emotionally. So obviously, so that's May, June, July. So I need to kind of tap into, I have to control my emotions, anger, that sort of thing. I have that Latin thing in me that makes me, quite fiery. It all works out with the Three of Cups. Yeah, I do. So that's May, June, July. So this is August. All right. So I'm pulling from August. All righty. I do have a very good support group. And now make sure that you protect your own position from social climbers trying to take your prestige. That's what I know when it comes to the festival. And the festival is important to me and very important to the community. So I have the Irish thing in me. Let's put no names, no indicating as to who we're talking about. Oh, yes, that is true, Chris. So now, look at the next card. So I have to choose wisely here, huh? Get out of her head. I get it. So it's time to choose wisely with this card. And it seems like I have a lot of emotions in here, don't I? What's your take on that? So what did we do? I just want to double check the amount of cards here. So January, February, March, April, May, June, July. Now I'm going to go into August. Alrighty, so August is the summer months. I usually get hired to teach at different festivals and different events. Oh, do I have a lot of ideas? It keeps me up at night. You know what I mean? So, okay. So, what did I say? July. We're doing August now. So, August. Okay, people, what's your take on that? So, I can't allow myself to fall into a trap or foolish repetitive behaviors. You know what I mean? Like repeated bad behaviors that are childlike in nature. You know what I mean? Like jealousy or I don't have any addictions unless I guess caffeine is addiction because I associate this a lot with addictions and stuff like that. So it's very karmic. Death is mirth. Have fun. Yeah. But a toy you might neglect. Okay, I'm listening. Let go. Yeah. And that's why I said it might be anger. It might be jealousy. Stop obsessing over petty things. Yes. And I can do that because I am a bit obsessive. August. So now we're going to go in. Yeah. See, the only thing, I don't even drink. You know what I mean? I don't smoke in anything, and I don't drink. So it could be I obsess a lot over here. I am OCD. Hygiene. Yeah, you Rita, we will discuss later. But Rita, it is the person that we discussed, so you got it. You got it. You know what I mean? Yeah, Maria, I've done a lot of things, but with that devil card, I have to let go of foolish human behaviors and petty stuff. So I agree. So now we're coming into September. Partnership, love, could be me and my husband, that sort of thing. I could deal with that because September is a really nice time for that. And I like that. Or Chris, you're killing me. Killing me. You're absolutely killing me on that. But I do like the love card. Look, it's a good card. All right. You get it. Yeah. You were also bad. I'm just letting you know that right now. You were also bad. So, juicy September. Right. Yes. Absolutely, Mary. Thank you for bringing me back down, okay? So that was September. Now this is October, which is my birth month. Wow. Jeez, what is going on here? So this is October, which is actually my birth month. So what's your take on that? Wicked. Now, is that me walking off with the swords? After the unconscious addiction to pleasures, lover shows you getting back into the energy flow, and looking at you. I have ideas. Yes, Chris, I bet. Thank you, Terry. So now this is October and it's my birth month. So is that me with the swords, or is that literally me walking away from the swords? What's your take on that? Right? So I'm making you do some work here. Alrighty. That's my birth month. So I'm going to tell you intuitively when I look at that I have I've had problems with coming up with ideas here for the store and others kind. You think it's me? Okay. A revision, lots of revision, intellectual foundations in this. Yeah, I was going to say that there were ideas that I forgive me, I'm looking at that. Bernadette, this reminds me of the card I got in my Samhain reading. Maybe it refers to treachery in the... Oh, Tracy. Oh, wow. So, and that's kind of before November. November is election day, isn't it? Is an election. So that might be something because it really does bother me. And I'm very connected politically in the town and in the state, because I do a lot of work here. After Spring has us disclaiming a prize contesting, the main lesson is don't be a braggart. Okay, I get that. And I'm agreeing with you, Terry, because I've learned over these many years, or my 59 years on this plane, that it doesn't do any good to brag anyway, because people want to take away. In other words, if you state that you have yada, 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 or I got this new thing and I got this new shiny thing. Oh, thanks, Jean. I can't eat the cake anyway. I'm on keto. Yeah. All right. I'm being silly. That makes you a target for people to take things away from you. So I've learned that lesson well. So that was October. This is November. So, oh my God, what the heck, man? Now, this is November, the end of the old, the beginning of something new. Yes, take away or work together. Okay, so this is November, the end of the old, the beginning of the... Oh my gosh. Are we talking the election? Am I being too biased in this? You had to do that to me. You had to do that to me, Tracy. So now we get the death card. It's also... the end of October and November, it's Samhain. You know what I mean? So that's kind of fitting for this. Alrighty. So are we talking about the election? I'm keeping my mouth shut on this one. Who knows? Alrighty. And now we're coming into December. I got a lot of work to do. I'm keeping everything in the order that it came out. All right. And now, yep, I agree with you, Chris. December. It's funny that it would be an angel here now, isn't it? All right, but we know what angels are like. You know what I mean? It's a little different. Alrighty, so this is December. Temperance, finding that balance between many things here. And temper lots of things. It's not just feelings, even though cups are in there. What should take? Spa days. I like that. So what should take, everybody, in temperance? And see, the last two were major arcana cards. So that's kind of interesting as well. I got a lot of deep work to for the year to come, and I'm going to write this down in my journal. And if you would, I would love you to do the same thing. Yeah, oh no to what, Jean? Okay? I don't look at this as a bad, the magician is the cook, temperance is the freaking chef. I like it because everything is about that, as above, so below. So you have the temperance card that does that. You have the magician card that does that. And you have the devil card that does that. Maria writes, I think it has a lot to do with what we were talking about last time I was at the store. Could very well be. And now Jean writes, how about we say that it's transformation and Trump will no longer be president? Well, you know something? I was trying, and I think I might have been a bit biased, but actually I think that makes sense. And I'm not trying to push my political views on anybody. Alrighty, but the change in the hierarchy would please me. All right, so I'm saying that. I am not trying to negate what anybody else's feelings are. Hi, Shireen, it's good to see you here. So I hope I'm saying that correctly. So that would make sense, and it does again make it personal to me. Alrighty, so yes, that makes an awful lot of sense on that. So I'm keeping the 12 cards out to go over and then put that in my journal. So I'd like to see, all right, Mary writes, it looks like thus far the levels of community do change and go to a higher level. Possible guest appearances. Oh, okay. Mary, you are really awesome. I love your take on these things. Your levels of community do change and go to a higher level. Possible guest appearances and higher public realm. I mean, I've done a lot of that, and I'm trying to do more. If my YouTube channel takes off and I get, and I know I sound redundant, I need to have 1,000 subscribers there so that I can use it. You're welcome, Mary. I need to have 1,000 subscribers there so I can do the mobile thing, and then I can travel and interview a lot more people, if that makes sense. And so they have a lot of limitations. So if you're not on YouTube, or you are, please go to Bernadette Montana and subscribe. That would really be quite helpful. And by the way, tomorrow I will be doing 3 card readings for everybody for the New Year's. So tomorrow I will be doing that on YouTube because it's actually New Year's Eve, and I will close. I'm trying to figure out if I'm going to do it during the day or in the evening, but it'll pop up and you'll see. Alrighty, so if you have a question for me for tomorrow for a reading, that would be really, really, really cool. Yeah, so you have to be on the YouTube channel to do that. So just search for Bernadette Montana, subscribe, and hit that little bell. And this way, when I do more of these things, you'll be aware of what I'm up to. So now I want to touch on something. So I'm going to put my 12 cards to the side. I know I really went fast on this one. Alrighty. And I have a bunch of questions that people have been writing me. So I'm on my computer and I have my phone up here. So let me go to a couple of things. Oh, wow. Look at that. I'm seeing my face on the computer. Let me share this here and see what I can do. Oh, no, I can't do it. I can't share to your story now. I'll give it a try. All right, so let's see what we got here. We have a bunch of questions that I want to touch on. So the first thing is, Maria, you touched on the numbers in tarot. So let's talk a little bit about that. Yeah, we're good on time. So Maria posted that she'd like me to address the numbers in cards. Okay. And I thought that was a great question. And feel free to join in on this discussion, because if you agree, that's great. If you don't agree, that's great too. Because remember, it's not dissent, but disagreeing or not agreeing. We agree to disagree actually pushes me to learn more. Because if I didn't know it or I didn't agree with that, I'm going to do the research to figure it out. You get it. You know what I mean? So I jotted down a whole bunch of different things here. So the number 1, okay, we have 0. Now let me start with 0, okay, because in Kabbalistic terms, 0 is one and all, okay? It is no thing. And we're talking about the Kabbalah. Can you see the tree of life, the Kabbalistic tree of life I have under my calendar? So I really, really love the Kabbalah. So in Kabbalistic terms, 0 is no thing. It is nothing. 0 is a very complex number or no number in science, all right, for those that are interested in the science of math, which I barely can get through. So 0 is nothing or no thing, and God is no thing, or creator, or the Godhead is no thing, because he or she is so encompassing that there's no way to put a word to what the consciousness is, all right? So that is the Fool card, isn't it? So you look at the Fool, and the Fool is new beginnings, all about, oh my God, what is going on here? That, that type of reaction when something is happening or you're on a new path. So 0 is that new path. And I know 0 only turns up in the tarot, in the Fool, in the Fool card, in the tarot. But I wanted to address that. Alrighty. So new, it's all about newness. So the number 1, oneness, standing tall. Hey, Cheryl. Oh, don't worry about being late. And I'm sure we always run late anyway here. Anyway. So the number 1 is the number 1. It is you. It is you standing on your own 2 feet. So when like an ace comes out, an ace is a gift being given to you. And again, I'm sorry that I always reference the Rider-Waite. It's just easier to find a lot of that information, even if you don't have a Rider-Waite deck. Hey, Michael, and a Happy New Year to you. My cousin Michael is on. And the number 1 is you standing in your own power. And again, I'm sorry, I went off track. The reason why I referenced the Rider-Waite is even if you don't have a Rider-Waite deck or Rider-Waite-Smith deck, it's easy to go on the internet to bring up the pictures, and then you can see what I'm talking about. So you don't necessarily have to go back out and buy the deck. So I'm just letting you know. So the number 1 is you, an individual, stand strong in your own self. So in the Rider-Waite, there's always a hand giving you that element, right? Earth, air, fire, and water, right? And there's actually a 5th, meaning spirit. But you get where I'm coming from. So when an ace comes up, it represents the number 1, and it is you, your own self, relishing in your own self, love of oneself, your own creativity, your own fieriness, your own intellect. So the number 1 is very, very important, okay? So the number 2 has to do with partnerships. The number 2, you'll see like the 2 of Pentacles, and you see a person juggling that card. And it has to do with being a couple, or the need to find, look at that, my Reiki hands, my hands are already tingling. When you see the number 2, it has to do with partnership, trying to find balance in one's life as well. So it all depends on what the question is. So 2s has to do with that finding balance, alrighty? Now, the number 3, to me, and some people may agree or some may not, but to me, 3 is finding a resolution in something, the come together of ideas. If there was an argument or you weren't sure as to what ideas were going to work, 3s represents that. You know what I mean? You try and figure things out. I'm looking again at my note. Okay. So when you come up with resolution, what does that mean? It can mean adding people to your team. Usually, two might be that partnership, but three means additional people to add on to that. So whenever I look at threes, it's a divine number, right? Mother, maiden, crone, Father, Son, and Holy Spirit. Many different other aspects, but number three is very important. Let me see I can never pronounce it. Triquetra sign, the Celtic symbol, the goddess breed. That's all in threes. The symbol for Sicily has 3 legs. 3 is very, very important. So threes has to do with that resolution aspect there. So the number 4, structure. All right. So if we look at, let's say, the 4 of Wands and the Rider-Waite again, you see 4 wands, and it looks like a chuppah, which is a celebration, and people are standing under it. It's a celebration of some sort, at least in wands. The 4 of swords would, to me, because I associate swords with fire, I don't necessarily associate that with air, but whichever way you look at it, it has to do with structure. It is 1 more than 3, so there's more coming together of people. I always look when the numbers go up and down as well as to what's happening in a reading. Practicality, and you know what? Sometimes success, because you went from resolution to actually building something. Alrighty, so see what you think about that. But I look at the 4s as that. So Maria, is it coming together for you when it comes to the numbers here? So now, let me know. So 5s. Now, usually when I see 5s, there's some sort of insecurity, some issue going on. Sometimes there's a battle. Sometimes that battle is within yourself. Sometimes chaos. Okay, thanks, Maria. Sometimes the number 5 can be chaotic. But you look at something like the Hierophant, right? The Hierophant in the major arcanas is also the number 5, and he is all about structure. We were talking about structure with the 4s, but the Hierophant is all about, you listen to it my way, because if you want to survive, this is what you got to do, right? The Hierophant teaches you all about those social norms that you need to deal with, which I have an issue with, because I don't like to be told what to do. I'm a structured person, but I'm a bit of an anarchist at heart. I'm an old punk. So, I have that, I know what I want to do, and I'm not necessarily in line with society at times, because I like to do things my way, and I'm pretty, like I said, I kind of push the buttons a little bit, but I do that in my way. Alrighty. I'm not all that vocal about it. But so 5s, a little bit of discourse, a little bit of issues, but that doesn't mean the Hierophant's bad, because listen, the Hierophant does kick you in the ass when you need to. And so it's those lessons that need to be taught or self-taught, because sometimes a person can tell you what you need to do and you don't do it, and you learn it on your own terms, right? So that's kind of like the human condition. So that's the number 5 at this point. So let's go on to number 6. I'm just going through all of my notes here. My computer crashed today, so I had to write down a lot of stuff. So, but I got it back up. So the number 6, friends. Alrighty, people get together. Stability kind of returns after the insecurities and the craziness of the number 5, right? You're building on it. Look at the progression. If you were to go down, then you're going back into the chaos of 5s. But if the 6 comes up, whatever the suit is, if the 6 comes up, now you're stepping out of that chaotic presence or that chaotic stuff that you had, and it's progression in the right direction. So I also like 6 because it's an even number, so there's also that balance. Let me see, what else did I get down here? Yeah, friends and stability. Yeah, welcome. It's relief from the craziness of 5s. Alrighty. So now we're going to go into 7, right? Is it lucky for you? Some cultures, some people feel that 7 is lucky. Patience. a situation. Self-awareness is paramount. And I'm going to agree with some of that, because you have that stability of 6, and now you go into 7, which can be lucky for some. Some will find that to be unlucky. For instance, the number 13 is considered unlucky, but if you are Italian, or especially Sicilian, like I am, I'm half, that 13 is actually a lucky number. So go figure. You know what I mean? So different cultures and different backgrounds have different ways of looking at that. So you decide as to whether or not 7 is a lucky number or not. I think when it comes from 6 to 7, it's introspective, and you stop to think about, now you had the craziness of 5, and now you get the respite from number 6. So 7 is about what your lessons are. What did you learn from all of that craziness? So 8, again, we're going into from 7 to 8. So we have Joey is Sicilian too. He sends hugs. Tell Joey I give him a big hug as well. Okay, he's such a sweetheart. So 8 is kind of like hard work. You know, you did a lot of work with the other past numbers. You're going forward to the number 8. It's the infinity sign. So I think it's like a culmination of a lot of good things that are happening. Again, there goes that balance with you. So to me, 8 is about that. You might need to make choices when the number 8 comes up, because again, it's infinite. So what you do now will come back to you, you know, that sort of thing. So that's how I look at number 8. But generally, I like the number 8. So the number 9, now here's a funny thing. The number 9 is a good number, but I'm going to throw something out, and I want you to stop and think about that. I am not a numerologist, by the way. So I have a lot of study with the Kabbalah, so obviously, you know, I work with that. But 9 and 10. 10 is the number of completion. So 9 is 1 less. So you're yearning to do more. You're learning to fulfill more. In Kabbalistic terms, 9 is almost not void, but it's almost, it leaves you yearning, because God is the number 10. Completion is the number 10. In the Bible, it's 666 is the number of the beast. It really isn't. You got to turn that around. It's really 999. Okay, this is in my studies. You can disagree with me all you want. So it's that 1 less than being you're so close, but so far. It's kind of like in The Devil's Advocate, if you've ever watched that movie. You can see, but you can't touch. Right? He goes through that whole soliloquy of, you know, he's a fan of man and all that other stuff, which is a brilliant movie. But you see, but you can't touch. You can touch, but you can't have more. You know, you can smell, but you can't eat. Yeah, got it. Oh, please, everybody look at what Rita wrote. That's fantastic. So again, Rita, as you know, I'm just going with my studies in the Kabbalah. So when I look at 9, it means you could do better. You haven't completed your journey. You can do better, depending on what your question is and what suit comes up. Alrighty. And then 10 is the number of completion. Alrighty. So 10 is can be the end of a journey and the beginning of something new, because you go back to 0. And remember, you know, 10 is, you know, 1 plus, you get it. You put it together. It still comes back to the number 1. So you're going to, that regenerative force is the number 10. So 10 is 6 plus 6 plus 6. Yeah. Very cool. So when you look at the number 10, it's completion. You can strive for more if need be. Again, if any of you are numerologists, like Rita's doing great. But the 9 of Pentacles is one of your favorite cards. Right. Okay. So, Tracy, let's look at this. Pentacles has to do with earth. All right. Pentacles has to do with money. Could you not do better? Are things becoming mundane? Are things becoming poking the bear, Tracy? You're doing well. You have progression. You'll be going to number 10, but how could you do better? There's something missing. So look at that, because maybe it's your favorite card because it's pushing you to do more. All right. I don't know what the situation is and all that other sort of happy horse shit. So forgive my cursing, but it's just the way I explain myself. So think about why the Nine of Pentacles is important to you. So I would take that card and literally meditate with that. You know what I mean? And see what you get, because I think it's pushing you to do more. It's a great card, and I'm happy when the Nine of Pentacles is there too. Got to make sure I'm doing it for the right reasons, and then it doesn't necessarily. You know how your hobby becomes your job, and then once it becomes your job, it becomes mundane. And it's like, oh, I got to do this again. To be honest with you, sometimes it gets that way here, and when I do this show, it's exciting and new to me, so I get very, very excited. Okay, so Tracy writes, interesting. I just like the card in general. She is a content woman with everything she needs, or does she? Alrighty? So remember, don't take the cards verbatim. See what it means to you. And again, I'm just talking about my knowledge of the numbers. So it might differentiate from person to person to person. You know what I mean? Everybody has their different takes. So I know, Jean, I see that you're there. Jean, maybe you can add in, because you read just as much as I do at this point, and such. So take a look at what that means. So we're going to touch on, okay, hold on, Terry. Weirdness. The lower numbers seems to have an energy all their own, pulling things forward. The higher numbers seem to require more energy from us. All right, Terry, if you don't mind me talking about the Kabbalah again. Okay. So, actually, I can't believe somebody is calling me right now, and I just took care of it. It makes sense with what you're saying there, Terry, and I think I was just about to touch on something here, and maybe I shouldn't at this point, because it would take up the whole show. Because there's a lot to be said on that. But on the Tree of Life, energy gets lighter and then it gets thicker. Alrighty. So it kind of makes sense. The lower numbers have an energy of their own, pulling things forward. The higher numbers seem to require more energy, because I kind of look at it as we're reaching. So it takes that energy from us. Again, I probably should not get into it. I'm not an expert in the Kabbalah by no means, because that's a lifelong study. But it's just kind of my take on that. So that might be a whole other show. So thank you, Terry, for that, because that's really inspirational. It'll give me more to ponder, when it comes to that. So Shireen writes, Nine of Pentacles to me is a very independent woman who depends on herself. Right. So Shireen, I'm just going to poke you a little bit, that because 9 is less than 10 and 10 is completion. Again, that means if we're going to refer to you or refer to the card, that means you could even do more. So that pushes you to do a little bit more, if you get what I'm saying. It's almost inspiration, when you have a life coach who's pushing you on and they're going, come on, you could do better, you could do better, you could do better. That's kind of, I hope I'm explaining this correctly, but that's how I'm looking at there. So Jean writes, I see the 9s as being cells and 10 as being family and community. So the 9 of Pentacles is your own possessions, money, and the 10 of Pentacles is your family, money, inheritance. Don't you love it? It says Seymour. It's a completion of the suit. Yeah, I'll agree with you. And yeah, Tracy, so see, completion of the self. Jean, I love that. It is the completion of self. So yeah, Tracy, feel free to write me, anytime, or if you want to put that here. Vibration and frequency. Yeah. Yeah, Shireen, good. And Shireen, add, because I love your take on this, because Shireen is also a tarot reader. And Shireen, please feel free to put your website up, or your Facebook webpage and stuff up here. So the idea is we're supposed to network and help one another out. And you could see that many different people here have different takes on many different things here. Now, Mary, you mentioned about the astrology stuff, and I use astrology, but I gotta say that I'm not an astrologer. So I'm afraid of giving out wrong information, though the suits are associated with the elements. So I'm going to throw this out. I am a Libra, so I am air, and boy, am I air. Right, Maria? Right, Jean? I am all about air. I'm always in my head. I have trouble with sleep, that sort of thing. So my mind is always going when it comes to that. So there is astrology. So since I'm an air sign, air to me is wands. I know that there's that little discussion that's out there, let's put it to you that way, where wands might be air. Alrighty. I mean, swords. There's that disagreement as to whether wands is fire or air, or swords is fire and air. To me, wands resonates for me. It resonates for me as air, because I look at a pencil as being made of wood. That's a wand. Or a paintbrush. It's all that creative stuff, which I am very, very much connected to. I'm a crafter. I'm an artist. I don't like calling myself an artist, but I do art. I create a lot of things, whether it's writing or, you see this? I made this. My mind is always going, because if my mind is going, I have to do something with my hands to keep it going. Otherwise, it's therapeutic. Let's put it to you that way. So to me, the pencil, the wood, and everything, it resonates with me and with my sign. So I suppose, you could work with what your sign is and then work with the elements with the cards. So again, cups is water. So if you're a water sign, you might want to think about what suit would work for you, depending on your... I'm not explaining this very well because my mind is racing. But if you're a water sign, you might want to work with the elements of water, and the element of water is represented by cups in cards in the tarot, okay? And swords to me is fire. So if you're a fire sign, that might be a good one to work with if you want to kind of play with that. So Mary, I wish I could do more for you on that one. Okay, so Jean writes, it doesn't matter how you read it, you're going to get the message. You're supposed to get... Oh, okay, got it. Are very much are to me. And Tracy writes, I am also a Libra, but I was taught swords are air, and I just can't shake that. Maybe it's because yes, gotcha. So yeah, and there is nothing wrong with that, Tracy. I want you to know that there is no right or wrong to this. It's, yes, I was taught that way, but again, see, the Hierophant, I have to poke the bear, and I don't go with just because what one book tells me to do. I'm working with that on a very intuitive sense. Some people agree with me, and some people don't. Alrighty. So one of my teachers who agrees, actually it was Raven Ramasi, and he's told me, because we were reading tarot for one another, and he told me that a wand is destroyed by the fire that a lot of people say it would represent, so it wouldn't make sense. And I went, oh, so it shouldn't be destroyed by the element that it represents. So that kind of makes sense to me. Alrighty. And a sword, if it's associated with air, can't be tempered because it's not associated with fire. A sword needs to be tempered. So you get it. Alrighty. Feel it. See what feels right to you. Alrighty. So earth is oh boy, on my think about it. We have earth, air, fire, and water. All right. So just see what you... Oh, matchstick, Terry, you're good. Terry, I like that. So, but swords are created with fire. That, you see what I mean? A sword is created in fire, so I associate swords with fire. And since air is considered the element of, creativity and that sort of thing, and wands, pencil is a wand, right? I don't have a pencil here. Yeah, I don't have a pencil here, but you kind of get. Believe it or not, Jean, I'm a double Libra. So, yeah, Libra. Oh, and my moon is in Cancer, and go figure my husband's in Cancer. Alrighty. So Rita writes, some schools of thought say fire is swords and others, yes, that's right. So I'm not going to say you have to do things one way or the other, but you could work with your astrological sign, earth, air, fire, water, and then work with that suit that resonates with you, and then see what works. So, Mary, I wish I did more. I'm not an astrologer, but I do know people that are, and we can have that discussion as well. So, hey, any of you people that do astrology, what do you think about 2020? Maybe when I go on YouTube tomorrow, you might want to, give us your interpretation as to what do you think 2020. I certainly hope 2020 is going to be a lot better. Rain. Oh, yeah, Rain. You know what? You're really good with astrology, too. So in addition to this discussion, add all if the signs in one's chart to find the dominant element in the entire chart. Okay, so Rain, because I am sadly lacking in this and naive about all of this, could you even ask, all right, in addition to the discussion, what is the dominant element? And in my chart, no kidding, if you were to look at it, and I don't have a printout of it right here, but in my chart, it's all left side, it's all creative, it's all in my brain, it's all that. My dominant element is air, which is kind of funny because I had a professional astrologer do my sign once, and everything is entire left side intuitive stuff. You know what I mean? And it's very cool. It's just Libra's supposed to be balanced. I don't know. I'm the most fiery Libra you ever saw in your life. So I guess I didn't fall into that stereotype. So Terry, I do like adding up the elements in multiple card spreads. Very cool. For more info, could plug into the elements of various signs for a first step into a general. Yeah. And here's a funny one, Terry. When I've read for people who are astrologers, they look at that before I even get a chance to do that. So I happen to think that that's pretty cool. And then I get to learn from every reading I do. Come on, all of you people out there that read, tell me you don't learn from every reading, and it's kind of exciting, you know what I mean? So Shireen writes, 2020 would be a good year for everyone according to my tarot cards. I'm all about it. We kind of need it, don't we, Shireen? Don't we? So, that's kind of exciting in thinking about that. So these are like fantastic questions. And Iris, I don't see you on now. You may hear this in the replay, because I always do a replay on this. She talked about stereo. I think it was Iris that said, or was it you, Terry? I'm not quite sure. Archetypes in dealing with court cards. Alrighty, and I get it. So if we look at Rita writes, 2020 will be 4 years. I want to find my jam partners this year. Ooh, Mary is a musician, just to let everybody know. So she's looking for people to jam with. So what's the archetype there? What is, I'm not even asking for the meaning of the card, but you look at the Queen of Wands. What does a queen represent to you? What is that archetype? Maria, I know you'd be very good at this. What does a queen represent? Yeah. Yes, Mary. So, you hear everybody says, oh, she is my queen, or she is this and she is this. But what does a queen mean? You know what I mean? Because I and I'm trying not to go with typical archetypes or stereotypes. Queen is anybody who's strong, who gets things done. To me, a queen gets things done without the fieriness of a queen rules. Yeah, because she rules with her brain instead of her brawn. What do you think about that, Rita? On my way to work, I love you. This was a great show. Oh, Carly, I didn't even know you were on. But hopefully I'll see you tomorrow. Alrighty. So a queen, she really does rule the roost as long as, she rules with her mind. She is kind of comforting to her family, depending on what suit, and we can go into that, the families of the tarot. But I kind of look at that. A person who encapsulates all things with a gentle and firm nature. Yeah. And you're right. And Rita, I like that. She's reached the pinnacle of her suit. So there's an archetype. Queens rule, yes, but they are responsible for so they're doing all of these they have all these responsibilities. They're doing all of this work, but they're doing it with a more gentle mindset. Alrighty? Let me think about this. Oh, there's an argument. Let me think before I speak. Alrighty? I think about things like that, You're not going to take those swords and stab everybody, though it's tempting. I'm using humor, people. Alrighty? But you get where I'm coming from on that. Queen could be a manager, someone in your life with the power to make decisions. Oh, I like that, Tracy. So we have that archetype, but what about the king? So let's talk about what kings are about. Yes, they are strong and understanding, but what does that mean about the king now? What's that archetype? What does that mean? Alrighty. Is a king not capable of ruling? Of course he is. But he has a lot more fire in him. Alrighty. He maybe thinks more from the gut or from the, I don't want to, no, heart is probably more the queen, but the king is more, I'm trying to think. It's not flight or fright, but reacts quickly. Alrighty. Where the queen goes, cool your pits. Let's talk about this thing well. But he is a bit of a warrior. I mean, so is the knight, but he's going, I'm getting things done now. And she goes, cool it. Hold on. Let's think about this. Alrighty. And figure things out. So who is that king? Is that king represent your father? And does the queen represent your mother? The king will put more conscious effort, where the queen is more, I like that. Okay. He's more likely to reach out and do. Okay. So I'm trying to think of the right way to do this. The kings might hold power whether or not they deserve it. Someone you might, right. I like that, Tracy. So Terry, this is going to be a joke, but the way I'm going to word this is this way. Married couples, they disagree. Queen, king. He says what needs to be done. She goes, yeah, sure. He goes, okay, done, I'm out. And she goes, I'm going to do the things the way I want to do it anyway, because I'm thinking with a calmer mind. It's just a joke. I just want you to get where I'm coming from, all right? The king rules with discipline, more from the head, and the queen is more from the heart. All righty? Oh, you know what? I like that. Rita, king is the mind, queen is the heart. And Harry writes decision maker. Yeah, but does that decision, and I'm backing up what Maria and Rita and even Terry was mentioning, okay, thanks, Terry. So I don't want to be insultive to anybody. I'm just using that. I use humor to get, things across. But yeah, the decision maker, but was that decision made with the heart or was it made with the mind? You get what I'm saying. Was it made with anger? Was it made with some sort of contemplation before the mouth, has opened up? So think about what that means. Alrighty. So we got that. So then with that in mind, let me find the next, hold on, I'm trying to find the next court card. Yada, yada. Of course, I'm going to find everything. So what does a knight mean? And while I'm talking about that, I'm going to look for a knight. Here we go. So the archetypes. All right. So here is, again, I'm not going to go with the actual meaning of the card, but what is a knight then? So my opinion is that I look at knights as blue collar workers. Oh, I like that, Rita. Kings are fixed, queens are mutable. Right. Okay, got it. So, what is now, Mary? Are you saying that in reference to the knight? I'm curious because I always look at knights like a blue collar worker. Alrighty, because a blue collar worker wants to work their way up. The king is the gatekeeper. Oh, I like that. The queen will listen and maybe comment. Depends on the element. Okay, Rain, very, very good. So the Knight of Wands, I look at as people who have to work hard to achieve the things that they want for their bosses. Yes, they are. Shireen, very nice. So do you get what I'm saying? So the knight is that blue collar worker. I always say like the page is on a new path, and is learning to be like if they're brothers. This the little brother that is enamored with the big brother and has to learn the lessons from that, and then the big brother is I don't want to say working for mom and dad, but you get where I'm saying. So the page wants to be like the knight, and the knight is in service to the king and the queen. So warriors is a good, yes, Harry. Yes. Yes, I absolutely look at it. So you get why I say blue collar workers. So when I look at the knights, they really work hard. Like the knight in shining armor, I don't believe in that, but the knight in shining armor is supposed to carry you off to make you happy or whatever. I don't kind of look that. The knight, Maria writes, the knight has fought his battles. Yes. Pages represent message bearers, and they also receive those messages and they take them within. So yes, Tracy, I agree with you on that. And again, those archetypes not necessarily work for you, but this is the way it works for me. And so if anybody's had a reading from me, not only do I do the reading, but it's also kind of like a learning experience when I do those readings. So the way that I'm talking about it here is how I work with my clients. Mary writes, the knights can be very pushy at times and willing to trudge on others. Not all knights, but this is possible. So we talking about like the Knight of Swords, Mary, which is a more aggressive element. We could be talking about something like this. They have the swords in their hand. They're ready to cut anybody down. And, I'm not a passive person. So if a sword's in my hand and somebody's needs it, I will voice what I need to voice. Hopefully, in a more subtle way, at times. So you kind of get what I'm saying here. So we went over the knights. Let me look and talk. Let's talk about the pages. And we haven't even touched on the majors, which is fine. Because, again, I want to talk about, here we go. We'll talk about the, okay, element, page is air, knight, fire, queen, water. Yeah, because the queen is, you think about it. So it's kind of like what I was talking about. Queen is water and king is earth. Yeah. Now, here we go. Those switch up fire and air. There we go. So let's talk about the pages a little bit. All right. So I just brought this one up. And page makes sense that it would be air, but you have to see what that means, because if the page was fire, you know what I mean? And then fire with earth, which kind of makes sense in a way if you look at the colors of this card, because we have red there, and then he's holding pentacles, which is earth. So there's a lot going on. And again, I know that there are going to be a lot of teachers that would get very upset at me, but tarot is very intuitive. It has to work for you. So if you agree that swords is air, then good for you. And may you be the best reader that's out there. If you look at swords as fire, fantastic. Good for you. You got it. Alrighty. So, right. You got it, Terry. So I'm looking at people, if you would look at what Tracy and Terry are writing. There's some really good stuff here, because I have a lot of fun when I go back over the conversations here. So the page is new, isn't it? The page is learning to be on that new path. So that could be air, because air is thought. It's all about learning and that creative energy. But it could also be fire, because fire is that spark of inspiration. So you get where I'm coming from. So you need to find your own way. And I think we'll go through that, when I start the classes up, which I'm thinking between January and February, because I'm kind of editing things and putting things together. And kind of working on it. It may work that I open up a group just for the class, and then I could do a live broadcast like this, and everybody talk back and forth to me that way. So, and put this in the back of your mind. I'm talking about $300 for a 6-month course. So think about that, and then see, how you feel about that. Alrighty. So still working on that. It makes sense. So this is really, really, really great stuff that we're touching on. And I'm just going to go into the Tarot and Divination Forum again, just so I can see the other questions that I may have missed. I just want to get on top. So I hope I touched on those conversations well enough here. So let me go into the Divination Forum. Maria, this device is working out really well, so thank you for that. So, alrighty, I'm looking at these things here. Okay. So, we got Iris. Okay. So Tina writes, all right, she's talking about she loves oracle cards. Oh, and at some point it would be nice to discuss, so this is you, Tracy, the difference between tarot and oracle. Alrighty. So tarot has a very specific format. It is 78 cards. Alrighty. And I'm talking about for 99% of the decks that are out there. I think there are additional cards in the Crowley deck. I forget how many different ones, but I'm tired, so I can't think of, how many more. But tarot has a very specific structure. So it's 78 cards. And those cards consists of 21 major arcana cards. All right. Those are the cards with no suits associated with them. Already, like the Hermit and the Magician and the Empress, they have no suit associated with it. So they're more archetypical as well. And we could touch on that. It would take a couple of shows to go through all of that. Alrighty. And then we have the 4 suits, right? So we have swords and cups, and pentacles. What am I missing? Swords. Oh, and wands. Okay. And in some decks, they may be called differently, but the elemental associations are the same. Alrighty. And then we have the court cards, which we kind of just talked about as far as archetypes and stuff. So it's very specific. Okay, Tracy writes, I find it more difficult to do spreads with oracle decks. I use them more for one card draws with ritual work. And you know what? Oracle decks are pretty great for ritual work as well. Though I have a specific love for Lenormand. Alrighty. And Lenormand, because it's all about archetypes and that. And I don't have my Lenormand in front of me. I'd have to go into my tarot room, which you see over there. But a dog is a dog, and you know what a dog means. So Lenormand is really cool because it's easier to read at first. Alrighty, there's a deeper meaning to Lenormand as well, and we can touch on that another time. But I don't have a problem with Lenormand, but if you use, like I was just gifted this for Yule, alrighty, I haven't had a chance to really explore it yet. But I find that oracle decks overall to be a little bit more difficult. Yes, at first. Yes. You like that, Rita, huh? So I'm going to show you an example. So this is the Enchanted Spell Oracle. So the first card I picked up, and there's a date on this to May. Oh, wow. There's a reason why I picked this up, because this was my son's birthday. It says May 12th. It says April 15th. So obviously it rules a month. It's probably astrological. It says patience. But this is a card I need to study. It's not necessarily intuitive. Alrighty, I'm sure that once I study, yeah, sometimes I do that as well, Maria. But there's a reason why I picked this up, because my son Alex was May 12th, and I don't think you can see that, but it says May 12th at the end. So this card would rule him. There's a reason why I did that. I suppose I'm going to have to look at that. It is my son who passed away about a year and a half ago, and that's his birthday, and I picked it up. Go figure. Anyway, with that in mind, I have to study this, so I understand that it would be a little more difficult to work with a card that, or a deck that you haven't studied. Oracle decks I tend to need to study, where tarot, maybe because I've been doing this for like 30 odd years, I have it to memory, it's intuitive, I'm able, it just flows. As soon as I see a card, the information comes out. I don't even have to second guess it very much at all. And if I have to second guess something when it comes to tarot, I think it has to do with the fact that the question that was asked was not clear, or the querent or the person that I'm reading for isn't quite sure what they want to ask. So then, I kind of have to work with that. So to me, I kind of get it. The only oracle decks that I've worked with that I didn't need as much study is Lenormand, and actually the Hidden Path and the Well-Worn Path by Raven and Stephanie Grimassi. So that seemed to be very intuitive, and I was able to, it flowed very, very well. You know what I mean? And by the way, a dear friend of mine, I met with her yesterday, happens to be the illustrator. Her name is Deidre Cotero, and is the illustrator for Raven Grimassi's last book. So her artwork is just amazing. So it just made me think of all of that. So oracle decks are very effective, alrighty, if that is your gig and it works with. And I'd love to talk about more. Maybe I could bring a guest on in regards to an oracle deck, maybe an artist or somebody who reads with just oracle decks. So maybe it's one of you, and if you'd like me to bring you on, let me know, PM me, and let me know what you want to do, and take it from there. So that we could talk about oracle decks with that. So as we come kind of near the end, wow, it's 6:11. Boy, this went fast. And I actually started a little early because I wanted to give everybody a chance to log in. Tomorrow, if you would, I'll be doing readings on YouTube. Alrighty, and I just have to decide how early it is. So if you I know this is going to sound silly, but if you go and subscribe to the YouTube channel, just look for Bernadette Montana and subscribe and hit the bell. Then if you hit the bell, when I go live, you'll be notified of it, and then I'll be able to do 3 card readings for the new year for everybody. And I kind of was thinking about just taking out, a couple of batches of cards and just say, hey, pick a one and then take it. But I think the 3 card readings may be good enough, depending on how many questions I have from people, and I might do a general. Let's see. I'm going to allow it to. Oh, thanks, Maria. Thank you. And believe it or not, I've learned here. Terry and Tracy, everybody that's put stuff out there, Shireen, all of you. I'm learning a lot. And like Jean does astrology. Reindeer is very good with astrology. So I'm looking for more information on that. This way I can learn. Alrighty. So that means an awful lot. And that's the whole idea. How would you all feel about if you wanted to branch out? Like some people were talking about spell work, or obviously we were talking about astrology, which is divination, and we talked about mediumship work. But do you want to talk about other things related to metaphysics, or do you want to keep it pretty the way that it is? Thank you, Mary. Are you looking for more than just the divination aspect of it? because we can do that. You know what I mean? And take it from there. And in case you didn't know, and I don't want you to think I'm talking, I love spell work. All right, so Maria is talking about spell work. The reason why I ask is I have training. Okay. Oh, tarot with spells. Thank you. That. My training comes from Janet Farah and Gavin Bone. So they are my high priest and priestess. You know, they live in Ireland, and they wrote A Witch's Bible and many other books. But Inner Mysteries, Progressive Witchcraft. This is their stuff. And this is where I get my training from, as well as my own Gnostic work, you know, my self-realization and stuff like that. So the only reason why I brought that up is to give you an idea as to where my lineage comes from and how I might be able to help you with this. Here in the store, I get a lot of people to come in and ask about spell work, but sometimes they get a little funny about it because if they don't understand a lot of esoteric principles. Open for all talks. Love learning new things. Thank you, Cheryl. And thank you, Terry. I'm glad. So let me know how you feel. I think I should put up a poll in Breed's Closet Tarot and Divination forum, and then we can talk about those things if you'd like to talk about more metaphysical things outside of divination. The reason why I bring that up is I could see that the discussion here sometimes goes that way. And when I get my private messages from, oh, do you crochet and sell your items? I do, Mary. I've sold a lot of items over the past year, gloves and all that other stuff. It's time consuming and just being goofy, and I'm showing off. This is my next blanket that I'm working on, and the reason why I'm doing this is I'm taking all my spare yarns from past projects, and I'm just oh, you want one of these? Okay, hold on, it might take me a while because I'm on this project, but we'll talk. Okay, we will talk, I promise you, because this was an easy stitch. It took a couple of weeks to do, you know what I mean, because I work so much. But getting back to the metaphysical, thank you. Believe it or not, this is metaphysical because it's not magic, isn't it? So when you're doing your crafting, I would love a crochet robe. Ooh. Will you all stop giving me ideas here, okay? Hey, Kristen, you're all killing me because my brain isn't going to stop like, oh, I can do this project, then I can do that project. So you're all killing me here. But I'm a big one when it comes to spell work. You know what? But Rita, I'm gonna discuss that because every time I do a knot, it's not magic, okay? And you know that not magic is an integral part of witchcraft, all right? And almost all cultures do it. So you know, I wrap the spell of protection inside of each and every knot when I'm giving it to my children. When I'm giving it to my husband, it is trance work and meditation, absolutely. And so that magic goes into every item that I make out of love. And then when somebody has asked me to do work in the past, oh boy, I'm opening that up now. Let's say gloves. I don't have my gloves with me because today was warm this morning. I make fingerless gloves, and those are easy because it takes me, I don't know, a day to come up with a pair. So if somebody would order that and then they ask me to put a particular intention in there, I will do that. Alrighty. So that's stuff that I've done as well in the past. So Maria, I think you know that because I've been crocheting since I was a child. But not magic is one of my specialties, if that makes sense. You know what I mean? So it's important. I also spin. And if I spin, that's the same thing because you're twisting in the magic into the yarn that you're doing. And I weave. Now, I haven't been able to weave in quite a while because it takes up a large amount of space. And I'm going into a smaller space when I move the store. But when I weave, it's the same thing because I'm making knots and I'm putting in my intention. And usually when I weave, it's with the yarn that I made. Alrighty, and that's usually smaller pieces. If I'm doing big pieces like blankets and stuff like that, it's fine yarn that I bought. I just recently finished a blanket for my mom with the yarn that I bought from Ireland. So that had that intention because, you know, I'm a breed girl. You know what I mean? St. Bridget. I want a go. Oh, you're killing me, Mary. You're killing me. Oh, okay. Now, Kristen, I think you're talking about, well, are you talking about knitting or are you talking about crochet? Alrighty. So yeah, not magic. You want to talk? Do you want to talk about? You know what? Hold on a second. That, and forgive me on that. That is my other half there. Knitting is the same thing. Macrame would be the same thing. But do you want to talk about not magic? Do you want to touch on that a little bit? We can. Okay, Mary, crochet. Yeah, I like crochet. It's just, you get what I did here. And crochet. Okay, good. Kristen, we can talk about that. You really want me to teach you? Yes. All right. How about that? Are you into talking about not magic? Okay, I'm going to hold you to it because we got a couple of things to discuss. It's not divination, okay? But it is magic, alrighty? So, because we're way over, and that was my other half coming to pick me up because I'm still at the store. So, I'm going to do a poll in the Tarot and Divination Forum, and we'll talk about subjects that you're on it. Oh, look at Kristen. You're all making me happy here. So, with that, I'm going to say a most happy and blessed 2020. It is New Year's Eve. Now, I see a lot of classes coming. Yeah, and my tarot class is going to be coming up too, Maria. So with that in mind, you're still going at this? Yeah, Tommy. I'm ending it now. Alrighty. Oh, he's doing all the hearts. My other half is silly. I'm just letting you know. All those hearts are him. So you can make fun of him, okay? So with that in mind, I'm going to put the poll up. So I ask that you all look into that poll. Tomorrow I will be doing readings for the new year on YouTube. And a happy new year to you, Rita. And hopefully I get to see everybody on YouTube too, because I like to do the readings and then get the feedback. Thank you, Rita. So tomorrow, everybody, or tonight actually, if you would, go on YouTube, look for Bernadette Montana, subscribe to it, like it, and then when I go live, you'll get that notification, and we'll be on sometime tomorrow, and I'll be able to do those readings and stuff like that. Feel free to share this video everywhere. It would be awesome. A blessed new year to all of you. Alrighty. And Michelle, if you're still on, yes, I am going to be open tomorrow. Just to let anybody who's stopping by tomorrow, I have a reading from 11:30 to 12:30, and then another reading at 2:30. So in between, I have that time, and I'll be doing the show with that. So I want to try and fit that in. If you want to stop by, you might even be on the show. You never know, because if I got to do this, you got to do it. And you all rock. You all mean a lot to me. None of this would even happen if I didn't have the encouragement from all of you. And thank you for all the input that you put in today, because I learned a lot today, which is really freaking cool. Alrighty. I am probably going to be off on Thursday, and then I'll be back on Friday. Alrighty. And then we can start working on those new discussions. Alrighty. I don't know if you would call it a class, but it would be a new discussion to talk to everybody. And if you are local, tomorrow, a couple of friends, we're going to go to the Trestle in Cornwall. I know that sounds crazy, and that's hyper local if anybody's there, but I'm not doing anything special at the store because I want to take a rest before going out tomorrow. And I'm closing early, so I'll be closed by 3. And then I'm going to the Trestle, probably 9-ish, to have dinner, and then watch the ball drop, because here in town they have their own ball drop. Maria, you are awesome. Mary, you are awesome. And many blessings. Yes, a good evening. I hope to see many of you tomorrow, okay? And you're awesome. Love you. On my way to pick you up. You see that? Look, he's giving me the information. He's on the way to pick me up. Alrighty. So think about what the new year means. Be good to one another. Check in on one another. And my usual rant, do not drink and drive. Do not smoke whatever and drive. Don't vape whatever and drive. Don't do it. Okay? Your car is a 1 or 2 or 3 ton vehicle, weapon that could really hurt a lot of other people. And I'd rather be able to keep talking to all of you without hearing about anything. Yeah, but Mary, where I'm going, I could almost walk home. So I'm not a drinker anyway, but just to let you know, and I know it's the mama bee in me, don't drink and drive. Let me hear that everybody is well and doing fine, and may your families be blessed. May all of you be blessed, and I will talk to everybody tomorrow. Alrighty? So long, everybody. Blessed be.